Barbara and Edna, it's nice to have you here. I know you both teach fitting professionally and work with people all the time on their personal fitting problems, and I think until we've actually taken a commercial pattern and tried to make it fit our own bodies, we can't really appreciate what goes into the fact that you created a leotard that is designed for helping people with fitting problems, which we all have. And this is a commercial pattern that people will recognize?
Yes. This is a basic fitting pattern, and most people who have fitting problems start out trying to alter this. Our approach is a little bit different because we take the pattern and
you traced off, first of all.
We trace it onto muslin, and then we drape it onto the body, and it's almost like wrapping a package.
You make it fit.
Exactly. You smooth it out where you can, and where it doesn't smooth out, you take in your darts. And this pattern here shows the red marks are the original pattern.
The red was what we copied off the commercial pattern.
Right.
Those were the stitching lines.
And the blue pattern, the blue lines are from our draping of Edna.
So these are what we changed to make it fit Edna's body shape.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And this is really what you recommend for everyone to do. You have to start with something that fits your own body before you proceed.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We'll move these then.
And once that's done, we come up with a basic sloper. That muslin has been transferred to oak tag, okay?
Just this is a cardboard type.
Exactly, a back and a front. And from this you have all different kinds of styles, silhouettes, and you can design different sleeves. And what we've done is taken this oak tag and we've used some flat pattern techniques using these tools, different kinds of French curves, tracing paper, L-square, scissors. Okay, those are the tools that you need.
Your tools of trade here.
Exactly. And we've taken these oak tag slopers and we've traced them onto pattern paper, okay, which is the very first stage.
This is just this thin tissue paper.
Then, yeah.
You traced it on there, both pieces, all right?
Both pieces. And
the red meaning what the pattern was. Okay.
Exactly. And the only difference is on the back pattern piece, there was a shoulder dart. We transferred that shoulder dart into the armhole. Okay.
You're talking about this dart.
Yes, the shoulder
was transferred
dart into the armhole. Okay.
It becomes an armhole dart.
That's
I see.
right.
Okay.
And on the front bodice, we've left the darts.
This is the waistline dart.
We've taken the shoulder dart also and transferred it into the armhole.
And is that because that's an easier way to fit a woman's body?
Well, no, this is the type of sleeve. This kimono sleeve, the fullness is all underneath.
Under the arm.
It's a wide sleeve.
Okay, so you do need to determine what the sleeve pattern you're going to use.
And as I said, this is flat pattern technique based on the drape that Barbara originally did on me. Okay, now we had to balance this off and make sure that each one of these pattern pieces have the equal width from front to back, okay?
And this represents?
Well, this is the...
you just lined it up.
We lined it up and squared it off to see that one piece measured 10 inches and 7/8, and the other measured 11 and an eighth, which gave us 22 inches. So we put 11 on one side and 11 on the other.
You divided it then, I see.
Okay. Then what we did was we developed the front. We took the front pattern piece, okay, and we traced it onto paper, okay. We traced
lined it up.
Lined it up. Oh, you're really good at this. I need you to come work with me. Okay, we increased the sleeve height a 1/4 inch, and we took the length of my arm, which was 22, and we drew a line down. Okay, and then we, from the midpoint on the bodice, okay, we drew another curved line, and that became the front kimono sleeve.
So this is the sleeve pattern. Now you've created it because we already know the bodice fits.
Right. And that dart is in there. Okay, I didn't have to trace the dart off because of the design of the pattern. Now we don't need this anymore, and then we trace off the back the same way. Okay. Well, once we get the back traced off, everything lines up. Can you see that?
Well, you make this look really easy, but I can tell it takes practice to do this, and from having done a little bit, I know that it's not as easy for some of us as it is for others. Okay, the built-in darts is what I think is interesting in this design.
It's built in right into the armhole. So once you trace the back off, then you take the front and you trace off the front sleeve and bodice already attached to get the new arm inside. Okay, and once that's done, you're all finished.
Because this has to sew together. That's why we're doing this.
Yes. And Barbara has...
But you're going to show a different sleeve, is this
Yes.
right? Which is called what?
The raglan sleeve.
The raglan.
Now, I'm going to show again the original sloper, basic pattern of the back. And you see that we have drawn diagonal lines from the neckline down to the curve point in the underarm.
Okay.
And we're going to drape the sleeve rather than develop it by flat pattern design because it just drapes better. And I'm not going to bother putting that on her. I'm just going to put the sleeve on here. And there is the turn point of her arm, a little bit lower. There is her shoulder. We take it up and back in the same way. And perhaps you can turn around this way. And we pinch all the way across.
Oh, this helps if we've got a sloping shoulder or a high shoulder or a square shoulder.
It's a custom-made raglan sleeve. No more bumps in the back.
Or gathers.
Exactly, exactly. So once you draw these lines on the body, you've got your sleeve, and it's much better than a commercial sleeve. And you can see here are the original sleeve lines. There's the underarm. It goes up for the regular.
We've made this much of a change on this.
Right.
For this is a raglan sleeve.
Right. What you do when you cut out the sleeve is you cut out a big square of fabric, and then you shape it to the shoulder so that it's perfectly fit.
Is this how they do this in couture houses when they custom make clothing for people?
Do you know that in couture houses they have dress forms padded for all their customers, so that even before the customer tries on a dress, a toile, a muslin, has been made on their own dress form.
No wonder they fit so well, right?
And that's what this does. This provides the same kind of fit.
Well, it's interesting to see how this is done, and I appreciate you both being with us today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.